All right, here we go. What's up, guys? Here we are. We're back for another Hills Rewatch recap. And guys, I have got to tell you, I'm having so much fun doing this. This might be my favorite podcast little series that I've done to date. And that is saying a lot because I've had a lot of fun doing the podcast. But I'm going to get right into it because there was so much. I took so many notes on this episode. And today, the episode that we're doing, it's titled, It's On, Bitch. And it is my essentially first episode doing the Hills. It is the infamous London hotel party when shit goes down. And I want to start with the description for the show. So it says, Kristin Cavallari's attempt to reconnect with her Hollywood friends goes awry when she angers Audrina by hitting on Justin. Oh, I can't wait to get to it. So this first aired September 29th in 2009. Like I said, this is my first real episode of my now season. And it actually took me a second because I'm narrating it. And at first, the recap is obviously from a whole previous season that I wasn't involved with. So it took me a couple seconds to be like, oh, wait, that's me narrating it. It my brain didn't sync up for some reason. And it was wild to hear me narrating a show again because it's been obviously 15 years or whatever. So that was really interesting. The episode starts with Heidi and Spencer. They're setting up that they're throwing this party, right? It's after their wedding now. I'm assuming their honeymoon, although there's no mention of a honeymoon. And they're going to have this party at the London hotel. And they've invited me. Then we have Lo, Audrina, Stephanie, and the girls are chatting and they're basically talking about me. They're saying that I'm going to be in Malibu that summer, which then later in the show, you see me coming out of my quote unquote Malibu house, which is funny because I, for some reason, thought that this house was my second season, but no, it was my first season. And so I've talked about this on the pod before, but MTV got me this sick ass house in Malibu for the summer. It was right on the beach. I mean, this must have been like a $30 or $40 million house. Honestly, maybe more at this point. And they got it for the summer. The only kicker was we could only ever stay there when we were there filming and drinking. So I think I only slept there maybe 3 or 4 times the entire summer. So definitely was not my house. This was all MTV. I think at the time I was living in a condo building that I was renting and they would not let us film there. So this was kind of the only option. And this was sort of like, it was great for storyline being like, oh, well, Kristin's in Malibu this summer. So we're all going to hang out. So that was not my house. But anyways, so the girls are chatting and Audrina asks why I have the reputation of being a man eater. And Lo goes, because she was. And then says Stephanie chimes in because she had known Brody, obviously, I think pretty much her whole life because of Spencer. And she says that I was a boy magnet. I was Brody's first girlfriend. He even got me a dog. Brody doesn't have girlfriends. Oh my God, I changed Brody, which I mean, I will say Brody did have one girlfriend before me. I think it was a high school girlfriend or something, but I was his first girlfriend as quote unquote adults. Although I don't consider anyone under the age of 25 an adult, but you know what I'm saying. I was 18. I think he was 22 at the time. And Brody and I were sort of the second we laid eyes on each other, it was that was it. He did buy me a dog, Bentley. I don't know if, I know he ended up giving Bentley to his mom. I don't know if Bentley is still around or not, but he was a cute little French bulldog. And so people do get confused because Brody was my first real boyfriend in LA. I graduated high school. I moved up to LA, met him almost immediately, and we did date for, I want to say, close to a year. And then, now when I'm joining the Hills, and later in this season, I believe, Brody and I date, but that wasn't real. I never actually dated Brody at this point in time. It was only when I was 18. So I think people get a little confused on that. So anywho, Audrina asks if, she wonders if I'm dating anyone currently. And it's just so funny to me that the only thing anyone has said about me since I've joined the Hills is my dating status. Hook me up with a guy, or is she single? Is she dating anyone? That's the only thing anyone cares about with me. So Lo then gets into that she never had an issue with me in high school, but a few girls had problems with me because I'm not afraid to get in your face. I'm not afraid to stand up for myself. And if you're on my bad side, it's really nasty. And then they say that I slapped Lauren outside of a club. You guys, I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't think that's true because you know what's funny? I like vaguely remember people being like, oh, like saying that to me. And I'd be like, I never was physical with Lauren ever. In fact, Lauren and I were friends after we graduated high school. We all went to a trip to the Bahamas together with Heidi and Steven was there and Lauren and I were buddies. Maybe friends is a bit of a loose word, but we were friendly, I would say. And we actually had a lot of fun together on many different occasions. I never slapped Lauren. I'm going to go on record here. I would love Lauren to clear that up because I think this is complete bullshit. And I never hit anybody. I mean, I could run my fucking mouth, which we clearly see in this episode, but I never actually got physical with anybody. So fuck you guys for saying that. And so it's just interesting how they really are setting me up to be this girl, you know, like laying the groundwork, painting this picture of who I am. And it's also funny to me because Audrina's acting like she's never even met me before. And Audrina and I had hung out. We had mutual friends. Her and I were at my friend Nick's house, who lives here in LA one night. I've got pictures of us together from before I came on the hills. So clearly I would almost put money on the fact that this scene was potentially a pickup scene even, where this was very much producer led, telling the girls what to say, setting the stage for quote unquote who I am as a person, because Audrina would have been like, no, I've met her. I've hung out with her before. She's cool. And in fact, I told you guys on the last episode, in between Heidi and Spencer's wedding, we had months in between then now me going to the London hotel. We had so much time that the tabloids were writing articles about what was to come on the hills. And Us Weekly wrote one saying, Audrina and I were fighting because of Justin Bobby. And we hadn't even started filming yet. And Audrina and I talked and we were like, oh, how funny. Okay, clearly this is the story that the producers want and we're not going to give that to them. I'll never forget it. I was like, yes, Audrina and I are allies. There's no way we're going to do this. We're not fighting over a boy. This is so juvenile and stupid. Yes, the girls are banding together. Okay, so Audrina knew me. And then, okay, now we go back to Heidi and Spencer. And they're talking about the party. And Spencer is saying that because I'm single, Audrina better watch out because Justin Bobby's going to be swooped up. And then later he's like, oh, actually, I don't know. I don't know if she's going to go for Justin Bobby or for Brody. And it's just, again, laying the groundwork that like, I'm going to come in and swoop up all these guys. Like, no bitch is safe. Like, well, lock away your men because Kristin's in town. Oh, he calls me the real deal female player. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Spencer. And then, oh God, I was dying. Okay, so they finally get to Brody. It's a scene of Brody and his ex-girlfriend, Jade. And Brody's lower third, which is your title card, where it says like Brody, and then underneath it, there's like a little description of him. It says Kristin's ex-boyfriend. So Brody, who's been on the hills for multiple seasons, has now all of a sudden been demoted to my ex-boyfriend. That's his description. I mean, God, poor Brody. I was like, I would have been pissed if I was him. So it's him and Jade. They're getting ready for the party because Jade's trying to decide what bikini to wear. And let's just clarify this. Anytime there was a big event like the London hotel party, that was the only thing you filmed that day. They're not getting ready with you because they're at the London hotel setting up cameras, getting everything going, especially because when it comes to production, you can only shoot for so many hours in the day unless you've got multiple crews, but we did not. We had one crew, unless it was like a huge party. The crew was at the London hotel. So this is a pickup scene because they never would have been at Brody's condo getting ready and then naturally following you over to the London hotel. It was just, you get to the London hotel, this is where we pick up the scene. So this is not in real time. But Jade is basically saying she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to meet Brody's ex-girlfriend, me. And Brody's like, what do you mean? She's cool. It's going to be fine, but you got to watch out for her. So again, just really setting the stage for what's to come. And speaking of not being with you day of, so they have this whole beautiful tracking scene of me leaving the house in Malibu, going to the London hotel. I mean, they even had cameras up in helicopters. These were, this is when reality shows had big budgets. And that was not day of. And that was not me really on my way to the London hotel. That was a very separate shooting day where it was a day to get that kind of coverage of me driving my car. I mean, that was not, again, also not in real time. So then I pull up to the London hotel, and the whole time I'm driving, I'm by myself, including pulling up to the London hotel. And then when you see me walk into the London, I magically have 2 friends with me because, again, none of that was in real time. And to me, it's just so funny that, I don't know, they thought they could get away with this stuff. And obviously the hills is when people started to kind of pick up, you know, your nail polish is a different color in the same scene. Like I remember there were like little things that people started to notice to realize maybe it wasn't as real as everyone had initially thought. But they still, you know, I think it was 6 seasons in, they're still pulling shit like this. They always want to make it seem like I'm late. I'm the last one to show up at every fucking event. And guys, I can tell you right now, I am the most prompt, on-time person on the planet. And that's just not the case at all. I've told you the last episode, they hold you until they are ready for you to go into scene. So of course, they make it seem like I'm the last person at the London hotel party, and I was not. In fact, they had me go in, and Heidi and Spencer were the last ones to come in, because I remember when they walked in with 2 bottles of tequila, and that is when things took a very dark turn, is when those bottles of tequila showed up. So I was actually in the party, filming and everything, before Heidi and Spencer got there, but in the edit, obviously, they made it seem like it was the opposite, because it's more dramatic to have me walk in fashionably late, of course. All right, guys, I want to take a second to talk to you about your hair, specifically Nutrafol. I've been taking Nutrafol for maybe it's close to 2 years now, and they've really changed my hair. I am so incredibly thankful for them. You guys have no idea. I was kind of going through it with my own hair journey. I had a lot of breakage years ago, and I'm finally at a great place. My hair is back to its old self. It's healthy. It's the length that I want it, and it's not breaking anymore. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. It's trusted by over 1.5 million people. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body, since Nutrafol's hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF Contents Certified, which is the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. You guys know I'm also kind of a freak about what I put in my body, and I love that Nutrafol is 100% drug-free. They actually have great ingredients that are good for your whole body, like ashwagandha and peptides. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering my listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code HONEST. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code HONEST. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code HONEST. Let's talk about Foria. Maybe you remember a podcast I did a couple years ago with Keanu Reeves. She works for the company Foria. Foria is here to help you have really good sex and more of it, the kind that makes you feel nourished, juicy, and fully alive. They make life-changing, all-natural, organic formulas for your most intimate needs. So let's start by talking about their Awaken Arousal Oil. So imagine the best orgasm or sex you've ever had, okay? Now imagine that it could be even better with products that were designed to naturally enhance sexual pleasure and give you access to bigger and better orgasms. With the holidays coming up too, you guys, I personally think that this makes great gifts for your partner, of course, or even your girlfriends. Can't go wrong here. So yes, you have my permission to try this. I fully endorse you to go ahead and treat yourself or your partner. Experience your juiciest and deepest sensual experience with a bottle of Foria. Foria is offering a special deal for my listeners. Get 20% off your first order by visiting foriawellness.com/honest or use code HONEST at checkout. That's FORIA wellness.com/honest for 20% off your first order. I recommend trying Awaken or their pleasure set with all 3 of their best sellers. Yeah, you'll thank me later. So I walk in with my 2 friends. I'm saying hi to everybody. They make it seem like I say hi to Jade and she just completely ignores me, which was not the case at all. Jade and I never had an issue with each other. I think immediately, actually, Jade and I did like each other. And later in the episode, after Audrina, Stephanie, and I have some words, they cut to a scene and I'm actually standing there with Jade and a couple other people. But like, it was like Jade was my ally and I was bitching to her about the other girls. So Jade and I never had an issue, but they wanted to really play up the fact that every girl apparently did have an issue with me, which was just not the case. So, oh God, I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay, so I say hi to Justin Bobby like a normal human being, like he's any other guy. There was nothing weird said. There was nothing flirty said, because if Justin and I were flirting, they would have aired it. You know, they would have showed that. It was a simple hi after we all were drinking lots of tequila shots and we were all fucking hammered. You could tell. I think at one point I've got these like $2 like cheap sunglasses on and then they're just magically gone, like just train wrecks at this point. But so I'm just saying hi to Justin like he's any other person. And Stephanie says that I beelined straight for Justin and it's so insane. And it's funny to me because I actually feel like when you know what was going through my head, when you watch it, the way I'm speaking to Justin and saying hi to him, or like, and even the little conversation that we had, I actually think I look like I am uninterested in the conversation and like I don't care. And maybe that's only because I knew really my headspace, but we weren't flirty at all. Let's just put it that way. So of course they cut to Audrina looking at us, you know, and then Audrina says it's girl code, you know, you don't go there. Like I was trying to make out with him or something. Like the girls really, the way they were reacting, I would encourage everyone to go back and watch it, you guys, because the way the girls were reacting, you would have thought I was like dry humping him, like giving him a lap dance. Like, I mean, I was actually kind of shocked watching it that like that behavior flew. Okay, let's just put it that way. And again, this could be editing on their end too, but this was a very real fight. So, okay, so then Stephanie, Big Doug, you know, like Audrina's security, comes over to Justin Bobby and I, and she's giving Justin Bobby shit for not saying hi to Audrina. Also, what? And Justin Bobby says that he did say hi to Audrina. And so my little drunk firecracker ass has to interject. And I say, he's a big boy. He can handle it. And by the way, my favorite part of this whole thing is Spencer and Heidi next to me. I think Heidi's arms are around me and Spencer's next to me, and the grins on their face, you guys, they are like, oh my God, like so excited for what's happening. So, okay, wait. Okay. So then Stephanie says to me, Kristin, he needs to respect Audrina, bottom line. And I'm drunk and I go, what? Which, by the way, was actually my reaction watching this. Again, just the fact that she's implying that like something is going on. Guys, I quite literally did nothing wrong. I stand by this. I stand by everything I fucking did in this scene because I didn't do a goddamn thing. I just feel like these girls honestly were searching for a fight, which, hey, you know, mad respect because we are filming a TV show. I think this is my real first day filming. So I was like, I didn't really know what to expect. I remember walking away from this scene and, well, immediately calling my publicist being like, oh my God, this is what just happened. Like, what have I gotten myself into? What have I signed up for? But I also remember walking away being like, these girls do not know what's real and what's fake anymore. And to me, it felt like the lines were very blurred. I don't know. I just was like so confused by the whole thing. And maybe they were just playing it up in front of the camera. Maybe they didn't actually believe everything, but I don't know. This was a real fight. Okay, so it just escalated so easily and so quickly. And really, it was like the over nothing. And it was actually pretty ridiculous. But so Stephanie said that I said he's a good guy, which I didn't. That never came out of my mouth. So I repeated myself and I said he can handle himself. He's a big boy. Then Audrina comes over and she goes, why are you guys talking about me? I'm like, what? I was so confused by the whole thing. Her name never came up. Okay, so I'm pissed, right? Because now I feel like I'm being attacked for something I didn't fucking do. I'm being accused of something that I didn't do, and I'm fucking drunk. And you don't fuck with me when I'm drunk. So I go, I'm sorry I walked up here and was saying hi to my friends, and you guys came at me like fucking piranhas. By the way, I'm proud of that line. The fact that I came up with that on the fly like that with some drinks in me, like, I love that. So again, I'm just like, I did nothing wrong. And now all of a sudden I'm actually being attacked and like backed into a corner when I did nothing. So I stood my ground, and I'm sorry, but the girls were coming at me for nothing. So Audrina tells me to step in front of Justin and put the dukes up. Okay. And I said, I want you to come. I'm drunk, but I'm like, I want you to come at me right here and talk to me like that. Like, get in my face and say it. By the way, I'm all fucking talk, you guys, because I'm gonna say it to my face if I would do nothing. Like, I would literally do nothing. But I seemed scary, I guess. And there's this one shot. It's over Audrina and Stephanie's shoulders. And I'm so much shorter than them. And I'm like looking up at them and I'm like yelling at them. And it was the funniest shot. I thought it was so genius from the producers. It's like I'm this like little chihuahua, like at these girls just running my mouth. So I guess Audrina says whatever. She walks away. Smart Audrina. And so you guys have to remember at this point, because leading up to this, I'm like, Audrina and I are allies. We're not going to give MTV what they want. This is my girl. And now all of a sudden, I literally did nothing and these girls are attacking me. So that's why then I said, all right, so it's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. Is it going to be like this? Because if it's going to be like this, then it's fucking on, bitch. It's on. And then I say, you fucked with the wrong girl, dude. Because in my head, I'm like, did we not decide that we weren't going to do this? And now you're doing that. So I was like, okay, if you want to play like this, I'll fucking play like this. So at this point, I'm thinking all bets are off. I don't owe Audrina anything. I never in a million years would have done the Justin Bobby storyline and gone down that road if Audrina and I were buddies. There's no fucking way. Never would have. But at this point, I'm like, well, I don't know this girl fucking anything. It's on. Oh, little side note. I will say while I was watching this, I realized I'm really happy that I worked through my shit, because this behavior, while I stand by what I did and I don't regret this at all, I would never behave like this today as an adult. I mean, I was, I think 21 or 22 during this. And this little like firecracker takes no shit attitude definitely served me. Like clearly, I mean, we made a great show out of it. I would never do this today. So I was thankful that while it could serve me and I'm happy I reacted like that, I'm so thankful that I've worked through my shit so I don't pop off like that anymore. Just want to throw that out there. So then we cut to the girls are chatting the next day, or supposedly the next day, Stephanie and Audrina. And Stephanie is saying, I am not good news. I'm the girl who will stab all of them in the back, which I just want to throw this out there. Because then there's another scene. The episode ends with the three girls, Lo, Audrina, and Stephanie, talking about, well, here, I'll tell you exactly what they say. Oh, no, actually, the episode ends with Justin, Bobby, and I on a date, but we'll get to that. Okay, so the girls are saying that my ego is going to destroy me. Lo says, you don't treat your girlfriends this way. And basically, like, talking about what a horrible friend I am. Well, I wasn't friends with them. Let's just clarify that. Lo and I obviously went to high school together, but we did not remain in touch. I mean, I've never had an issue with, well, until the Birkin fiasco, I never had an issue with Lo, but she wasn't someone that I cared for or didn't care for. She just was sort of there to me. And that's not me being a bitch. And that's not me being negative. You don't have to be friends with everybody, and that's okay. And then Stephanie, this is the first time I had met Stephanie, was doing the Hills, and Audrina and I had hung out a couple times previously. But again, all bets are off at the London Hotel. You guys actually are not my friends. And I don't know you jack shit because, again, we're not friends. So you're saying what a bad friend I am, but you have to be friends to be a bad friend. Because my actual friends, I've always been a ride or die for. I mean, most of my friends I've had in my life for over 20 years. Like, I actually pride myself on being a very good, loyal friend. And I would never do anything like this to a friend. I'm not a homewrecker. I wouldn't go to try to like steal someone's boyfriend or whatever, ever, ever, ever. So the girls can shove rocks for saying that I'm a bad friend. Oh yeah, Audrina calls me a psycho bitch, which is fine. You guys know I always get so excited to talk to you about one of my favorite supplement brands, and that is Symbiotica. I cannot say enough good stuff about this brand, not only because all of their products are high quality and they only have the ingredients that you actually need in them. But I'm always on the go, and they just make it so easy to stay on top of your goals. I actually bring these little packets with me when I'm traveling. Specifically, I always bring the vitamin C and the glutathione, but they have so many other great ones. Sometimes I'll do their sea moss, or they have a magnesium. They really have everything. And they also just make it so easy in the morning to just eat these little packets. I think they taste good. I swear by the vitamin C and the glutathione if you're starting to feel a little run down. I think glutathione naturally just makes your skin kind of glow and pumps you up a little bit. My kids also take the vitamin C and the glutathione if they feel like they're getting run down. So I love them. If you haven't checked them out, you definitely need to, because again, they have pure, clean ingredients and they are so convenient that there's no excuse. They also have a monthly subscription delivery if that's something that you like. I know I do, because then it's just one less thing that I have to think about. So check them out. Go to symbiotica.com/honest for 20% off plus free shipping. That's symbiotica.com/honest for 20% off plus free shipping. Let's talk about a brand I love, which is Bon Charge. Bon Charge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to optimize your life in every way. Founded on science and inspired by nature, all Bon Charge products adopt ancestral ways of living in our modern day world. Their extensive range of premium wellness products help you sleep better, perform better, have more energy, recover faster, balance hormones, reduce inflammation. The list is endless. From blue light glasses and infrared saunas to red light therapy to EMF management and circadian friendly lighting, Bon Charge products help you naturally address the issues of our modern day way of life effortlessly and with maximum impact. You guys already know, but my favorite product from Bon Charge is their red light face mask. I swear by red light. It helps with so many things, including wrinkles and fine lines, sore jaw, eczema, if you get migraines, acne, scar tissue. It's great for wound healing. I also find it just really relaxing, but it also helps with razor burn and ingrown facial hair. It's so easy to use, you guys, just 10 to 20 minutes each day. You can do it while you're watching TV, while you're making food. And guys, I've tried every other red light face mask on the market, and I swear by the Bon Charge one. Go to boncharge.com/honest and use coupon code HONEST to save 15%. That's BONCHARGE.com/honest and use coupon code HONEST to save 15%. Today's episode of Let's Be Honest is brought to you by Cotton. I'm excited to talk to you guys about a brand we all know and love, and that is cotton, the fabric of our lives. I'm sure we all know this, but it's easy to kind of forget, or it's definitely not at the forefront of all of our minds. But cotton is a natural fiber that comes from the earth. So you can feel good about putting it on your skin. Cotton is gentle and it allows your skin to breathe. There's also a variety of staples and fabrics, so you can find really anything in any style, any season, or any occasion in cotton. It's also long lasting. Cotton is really durable. It's easy to wash and care for. It really does keep its shape and it doesn't pill. Another area that I love cotton for is in the bathroom, specifically the towels. Again, 100% cotton towels. Make sure you're always checking your tag for cotton. We should always be reading the tags, not just on food, reading ingredient labels, but especially with what we're putting on our bodies as well. And so that's why I love knowing every time I reach for a cotton product that I'm doing a really good thing for my body, my home, my kids. I mean, everybody. There's always peace of mind when you have 100% cotton that it is good for you. So to learn more, you can check out thefabricofourlives.com. I think Audrina and I went the entire season not talking. And it wasn't until the end of the season, we as a cast went to New York to do TRL or something. And I think that was the first time we had really been around each other. And so I remember saying to her, I don't think Justin Bobby must have been there. Or maybe he was, but he wasn't around at this point. And I said, Justin and I never actually dated, right? And she was like, what? Like shocked. And I was like, no, I literally never saw him outside of filming. Not one time. Guys, I never saw Justin Bobby outside of filming. And I think obviously on the show, you see every time I filmed with him. I think it was only a handful of times. I mean, I never really dated Justin Bobby. And she believed it though, the whole season. So I really do think like when she's calling me a psycho bitch and saying all these things about me, like she meant it. And I get that. I can understand if, this new girl comes in and she's trying to like take the guy that you like. I mean, yeah, I would be pissed too. But it was after that when I was like, Audrina, I never dated him, that we put it all to bed and we actually became friends. Which is just so crazy. Yeah, the girls are just echoing again that every girl in LA needs to be careful of me. No boyfriend is safe. I mean, I love that they give me that much credit, Okay, so then the girls are setting up Frankie's fiesta, his birthday at Pinch's Tacos. Again, they have me come last, which is fucked up. I'm always the last person to go anywhere. And they, of course, sit me right across from Justin Bobby. What do you know? Funny how that always magically happens. And I don't know if this is strictly from me or if this was show-led. I'll take credit for it. I asked Justin if he's single or if he's dating anyone. Again, I don't know. I probably came from me. He says he's single, and I say, how single is single? And then Lo is, of course, whispering to Stephanie that Justin is flirting with me. And Justin told me that he and Audrina were never fully together. Now, let me back up. I never watched The Hills. Like, I didn't know necessarily the storylines before I joined. I had seen maybe an episode here or there, but I didn't know the whole backstory with Justin and Audrina. Of course, I knew they had dated. I didn't know to what extent. So, and clearly Audrina and I are not having conversations about it. So when Justin tells me that they were never even fully together, I take that at face value. I don't know. I haven't seen the fucking show. I don't know what's going on. And so I've got no reason at this point to not believe him. So again, Audrina and Stephanie are fucking crazy coming at me looking for fights. So I owe them nothing. And Justin tells me they were never even together. So I'm like, great. Okay. It's wild to see some of the other little, like the friends on the show, like this guy, Taylor, like all the people I obviously recognize. And I know we all used to be friends, and I just haven't seen them in years. So it was kind of fun for me to like see all of the other players kind of around. And so Taylor is asking Justin Bobby about me. He says that I'm fun. And then he comes up and he sits down next to me because now we've left Pinch's Tacos. We're across the street watching some sort of a game. I don't know what game. So we're talking about his motorcycle. I tell him I've never been on one. And he says he's going to take me out on his motorcycle. And he does say, Audrina's been on the back of that thing. That's not going to be an issue, is it? And I joke. I'm like, well, then I can't go. We need something new. So then there's a line from me where you don't see my mouth moving. And I'm like, I don't know, Justin, are you asking me out? Well, that's a wild line. He didn't actually ask me out there. And he goes, I don't know, I'm trying to be good. Also a wild line. It's just funny to me because they wasted no time on this storyline. I mean, again, this is my first episode. And I mean, immediately, Justin and I are hanging out and going on a date. And I will say this. So while Justin and I didn't see each other outside of filming, I would never say that I dated Justin. There is an underlying flirtation, and that is real. I will say that is real. I also am the biggest flirt on the planet. I think we've always known this. We will probably always know this. And so we're flirting. That's very real. And even when I watched it back, I found myself smiling. I was like, what am I doing? I was like invested in the relationship. So I don't want to say there was zero there. There was clearly something, like there was a flirtation happening. I will definitely admit to that. I asked Justin Bobby how Audrina is going to feel about us going on a date. He says she won't be mad, but that he doesn't want me to go on a date with him out of spite. I appreciated that line. I think that's important. By the way, the whole time in this episode, we're cutting back to Spencer and Heidi looking at houses. And so I can't remember at what point my mom said this, either in this season or the next season, but she was like, I look at Spencer and Heidi as comedic relief. And they literally are that. They are so funny. They are like a sitcom to me, like this old married couple, like kind of bickering and like doing these things together. And I love that they're like the B storyline that you cut to. So it's not just like us all the time. And I love watching them on the show. Also, Spencer says he puts a deposit down on a house without talking to Heidi. Yeah, fucking right. I mean, that never happened. I think that this house was for the show for them as well. I think they had a separate house. I mean, that would just never happen in the real world. I mean, obviously it could happen, but this was all show led. I find The Hills to be very entertaining, way more than Laguna Beach. I don't know, maybe because Laguna Beach, I have a very different feeling about it overall. And I've said this, just feeling more manipulated, where The Hills, I knew kind of what to expect going into it. I also had years in between Laguna Beach and The Hills where I could fully wrap my head around what just happened. Like this character they wanted me to play, okay, I'm totally misunderstood out there in the media. I just had time to like gather my thoughts and take a break and come up for air. And so going into The Hills, I was excited, I was re-energized, and I leaned into it. So I needed that time in between. But I found The Hills to be, or I am finding The Hills to be just so entertaining. Like I can see why it was a good show. I really can. And I don't think I could look at it from that lens back in the day because I was too emotionally invested in it, where now obviously I'm just watching it as a viewer. But I still do get a little amped up. Like even the London hotel scene, I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I feel like I have to like defend myself. Anyways, okay, so now we're at STK, which was a very popular restaurant back in the day. I was always fucking there. And they do have Justin and I going on a date, Justin, Bobby, and I. And I get there and I say I thought twice about going because Audrina clearly has feelings for you. And I know that feeling when you like a guy, but he's moved on and it sucks. And Justin, again, downplays what they had. And I say, the one guy you can't get, you'll always have a thing for. And then I tell him I haven't dated in a really long time. Oh, I thought it was interesting because I also say that I know immediately if I'm going to be attracted to someone or not. I say that to Justin Bobby, and that holds true, guys. Here we are all these years later and nothing has fucking changed. And then he gets into asking me what my sign is. I tell him I'm a Capricorn, how clean my house is. And this is so random. Listen, the editing on these shows is impeccable, but to me, this didn't make any fucking sense. And out of nowhere, I mean, I guess we're talking about how clean my house is, but I go, I have the best bed. I'm like, what? And I just feel like, obviously I said it, right? You see my mouth moving. And I do this sometimes where I say shit like that, where when you hear it back or you're watching it in scene and with a guy, you're like, oh, she's obviously flirting. But like, I wasn't flirting. That wasn't me being like, yeah, we got to get in my bed. It was me just being like, I have the best, like my house is clean and I also have the best bed. Like, I'm sure I listed other things too. It wasn't like that was the only thing I said. That's where I mean, like the editing is just kind of wonky. But it definitely comes off like I'm like, hey, yeah, let's get in my bed. And then he goes, oh, I think he says something like, we got to break that thing in someday. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I never would have said that to like those three lines. Like, I have the best bed, got to break that thing in someday. That's what I'm saying. They do not, that was not in the order that they were said. I can guarantee it right now. They spliced all that together to make it seem like I'm flirting with him and trying to get him in my bed. Those fuckers. I even say at dinner, because now we're talking about going on his motorcycle. And I even tell him at dinner, I just want to go because I've never actually been on a motorcycle. It's not because I'm into him. I still stand by, well, yes, I'm flirting with him, but I'm actually like not that into him. Like I'm flirting because I'm a flirt, but also like I'm doing this for the show. And the thing is, at this point in my career, I didn't feel like I could say no to anything. And I was also a team player at this point. Like now as an adult, like doing honestly Cavallari or even very Cavallari, I said no to fucking everything. Like I was like, no, I'm not doing that because I understood my value now. Like I understand what I bring to the table. But at this point, I just didn't feel like I had enough experience under my belt to be able to say no. I didn't know that was an option. Let's put it that way. God, and I wish I could remember if I said no to anything. I'm sure at some point I must have been like, really? But like, I mean, I made out with Justin Bobby because it was producer led on camera at a club. I made out with a bartender in Costa Rica who was gay, by the way, because the producers asked me to because they wanted to get picked up for another season. I mean, like I was always like, okay, I'll do it. Like I was always down. I was a team player so when they're like, hey, we want you to go to STK and meet Justin, I'm like, okay, like I didn't, like it's my job. It's like, it was like a scripted show. Like, this is the scene we're filming today. You're going to be with this person, like, and then bring a change of clothes. Then we'll do another scene. It was like, okay, like this is my schedule coming from my producer. It wasn't like, but I would never do that in my real life. Like that just didn't even cross my mind. So Just table that and put that in your back pocket while we do all of these episodes. So that's it. So that's how the episode ends with our dates. And Justin and I do go on that motorcycle. And that was the first time I was on that motorcycle. And I'm excited to watch that episode because I'm having so much fun doing these episodes. And so we'll see what we get into the next time because I have no idea what happens on next episode. So I will see you guys for that one. Thank you for tuning in and I will see you guys soon.